to 20866 today for more details.
This is NTV.
Well, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. You're watching NTV at 1. My name is Zainab Ismail. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta is at the Tumu Presbyterian Church of East Africa in Nyeri County, where he is attending the centennial celebrations for elders of the church, 100 years since the first elders of PCEA were ordained in the year 1920. It is also the first time President Uhuru Kenyatta visits Nyeri County since he received the BBI report in Kisii County together with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Several other politicians are in attendance at the event, and our reporter in the region, Melita Oletenges, is following the story and will be joining us in just a moment to bring us more details of what has been happening there. Well, away from that, persons living with disabilities are decrying what they term as exclusion in the Building Bridges Initiative report has handed over to President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga. Now, according to their representatives, the report does not address their concerns, especially on leadership, and now want to be part of the agenda at the Bomas of Kenya meeting tomorrow. The leaders also want a meeting with President Kenyatta and Odinga to express their fears.
The Senate should have at least 5 senators who are persons with disabilities, and the 2 seats currently, man and a woman, as provided in Article 98(1)(c) of a man and a woman, should not be removed. Number 2, that we demand that 18 out of the 70 party lists slots in the National Assembly, 9 men and 9 women, to be reserved for persons with disabilities in conformity with, again, Article 54(2) as amended of the Constitution.
Honestly, the task force of BBI let persons with disabilities down. And we want them to sit down with us. We want to have a conference with the president of this country. We want to have a sitting with the prime minister of this country, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Because these 2 gentlemen have the best interests for persons with disabilities at heart. We only want them to tell us exactly and clearly where are persons with disabilities in this country.
If persons with disabilities decides not to support the BBI, they should not blame persons with disability. They should blame the steering committee, which has really messed this process.
Tumesema hii document ya BBI ni kuleta Wakenya pamoja. Huwezi sema unaleta Wakenya pamoja na unawacha walemavu nje. Sisi hapana wagonjwa.
We are not Jigukarangas. We are human beings. We are born in Kenya. Na sisi tuko na mafamilia zetu. We need well for our people. So tafadhali, we respect the president, the former prime minister, and the steering committee. Let them go back to the drawing board. Now we demand waweke kila kitu ambayo ilikuwa imepelekwa kwa na viongozi.
Meanwhile, Muslim leaders say they support all constitutional reforms that ensure unity, peace and inclusivity. Speaking under the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, that is SUPKEM, and the National Muslim Leaders Forum, NAMLEF, the religious leaders said they would support amendments that fully strengthen the 2010 Constitution. They also said they would allow the internal and external processes to work before they can take a position regarding any constitutional changes. They spoke at Jamia Mosque earlier today.
shall support amendments that truly strengthen the gains we have made by adopting the 2010 Constitution, and shall oppose any amendment that erodes or diminishes the gains already enjoyed by Muslims and fellow Kenyans.
Well, President Kenyatta has led Kenyans in mourning constitutional lawyer Nzamba Kitonga, who passed away on Saturday at the age of 64. Kitonga will be remembered for his service to the country and for leading the team that drafted the current constitution. His death comes at a time when the country is debating the Building Bridges initiative, which aims at changing parts of the constitution.
In his statement to the family and indeed the nation, the head of state describes the late Nzamba Kitonga as a man whom the nation will be indebted to. President notes that the country will remember and will forever be indebted to Kitonga and his committee of experts for midwifing the 2010 Constitution. Philip Nzamba Kitonga, born in 1956 in Kitui County, was a Kenyan lawyer and politician. He has held many positions in his career, but he is best known for his role in the Committee of Experts on Constitutional Review that drafted the new Constitution of Kenya. He has held positions such as President of the East Africa Law Society and Comesa Court of Justice. He was one of the Kitui gubernatorial candidates in the 2013 elections, but lost to Julius Malombe. He was also shortlisted for the position of Chief Justice of Kenya to replace Willy Mutunga. Recently, the lawyer criticized President Uhuru Kenyatta for delaying to appoint the 41 judges, as had been described by JSC. He said that due to the delay, the backlog of cases has now crippled operations at our courts beyond imagination. Deputy President William Ruto notes that Philip Nzamba Kitonga was a fine intellectual and a legal giant who was deeply devoted to the democratic process, bringing about much-needed reforms to our country through the new constitution. Chief Justice David Maraga has also eulogized Nzamba Kitonga, describing him as one of Kenya's most distinguished legal practitioners and a key pillar in the country's constitutional journey. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Our deepest condolences to the family of the late lawyer. Now, the delay in the appointment of 41 judges who were approved by the Judicial Service Commission is causing confusion in the legal practice. This is according to the Law Society of Kenya. LSK President Nelson Havi is again urging President Uhuru Kenyatta to look into the matter, which is causing a backlog of cases in the courts. Havi also adds that he and the Chief Justice have faced ridicule over the push for the dissolution of Parliament. He was speaking during the burial of the slain advocate Onesmus Masaku. LSK is now asking police to provide sufficient evidence into Masaku's murder, which occurred under unclear circumstances.
If a judge has said there is a violation of the Constitution in the failure to swear in judges, what business do you have stopping the disciplinary process of those who shoulder the greatest responsibility?
All right, just going back to one of our top stories where President Uhuru Kenyatta is in Nyeri County at the Tumutumu Presbyterian Church of East Africa. Of course, he's attending the centennial celebrations for elders of the church, 100 years since the first elders of the church were ordained in the year 1920. Remember, this is also the very first time the president is visiting Nyeri since he received the BBI report in Kisii County. And we're now joined by our reporter Melita Oletenges, who is currently at the event. For more details, Melita, what was spoken about today?
Zainab, as you said, it is the first time that President Uhuru Kenyatta has visited Nyeri ever since he received the BBI report in Kisumu together with the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And today he was attending centennial celebration at the PCEA Tumutumu Church, marking 100 years since the first elders of that church were ordained. And the president has mentioned that the church played a very important role in the early childhood education tradition of his father, the late first president of this country, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, and he has steered clear of politics. He has not spoken there, and not any leader from this region has been allowed to even speak. Remember, this Zainab might just show that they were avoiding any political sideshows, but the president has said that he will be speaking tomorrow when the BBI report will be dissected at the Bomas. But for now, Zainab, allow me to speak to a senior politician from this region, Kanini Kega, who is the MP for Kieni constituency. Perhaps, Honorable Kanini, what are your sentiments regarding the president's visit to Nyeri today?
I want to say that the president came for one function, that is to join the PCA Church in celebrating 100 years of existence. And he was very categorical even when he was in church. When he comes for a church function, actually he does the church function only. And he clearly said that tomorrow we are expecting to unveil the BBI, and he will talk more tomorrow. So there is nothing unusual. In fact, there is absolutely nothing unusual about it, and we expected it. And we know that from tomorrow, once we unveil the BBI report, then definitely we'll be able now to do the other politics. But also importantly to mention is that the president, maybe later in the month of next month, you'll be able, of course, now to visit Central Kenya to inspect the development projects that we have been having. So there is absolutely nothing unusual. Today was a specific function for the church.
Kanini, there has been growing political tensions in central Kenya, and this particularly is something that you leaders have been trying to actually steer clear of. And today the president has led by example, so to speak. Perhaps, how are we doing in terms of ensuring that we quell the political tensions in this region?
We are students of His Excellency the President, and he has been telling us that we only have a short time for us to provide the services that we are given by the people. We have less than 2 years, and if we focus on politicking, then definitely we will do it at the expense of development. We have so much that we need to do. I'm the chairman of budget, and I am very much aware of the daunting task that is ahead of us. So for us, and we follow the President, we need first of all to focus on projects. We have the dual carriage, the dualing of this road from Marwa up to Sagana and also up to Keno. We also have the Mau Mau road. We are also doing so many projects, markets and all that. So at the moment, we are following what the president has actually told us, and I want to assure you, because you have been saying that there is division, of course, here in Mount Kenya, and that is not true. Because if you look at, for example, Nyeri, is only maybe 1 or 2 political leaders who might not be reading from the same script, but the rest of the leaders are together with the president. You have seen here in Madeira, from the crowd that was here, it was very, very categorical. They supported the president. So basically, for us, we will not be distracted by the sideshows of a few individuals. For us, is to give the president the support, and we are supporting the handshake. We are 100% supporting the handshake, and we are waiting for tomorrow. You will see it in our numbers tomorrow at Bomas.
Thank you so much. That is the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kieni constituency. They are speaking to us, Kanini Kega, saying that they are actually shunning political tensions in this region, saying that going forward they want to focus on development. And also the president has contributed 100 million shillings toward the upgrading of the Tumutumu Hospital, and also promised to provide the charter for the Presbyterian University in Kikuyu come next month. So remember, this is the backyard for one of the Member of Parliament for Tangatanga, that is Rigathi Gachagua, and that is the reason why the president has steered off politics, and this is something that he says he will talk about tomorrow, and this was not the right forum. Back to you, Zainab.
All right, thanks, Melita Oletenges there in Nyeri County. Now, 2 police officers based at Mbururu Police Post in Kakamega County have been arrested over the murder of Dennis Lusava, whose body was found floating in River Nzoia days after he disappeared in police custody. Lusava's death was confirmed to have been as a result of blunt force trauma after an autopsy last week. Now, police had denied allegations allegations that they were behind the disappearance of the young man after villagers torched the Mbururu police station. The Kakamega County Police Commander had told reporters that Lusava had been given a police bond and freed on the day he allegedly disappeared. He had reportedly been arrested for not wearing a mask in public. The DCI says the latest development leading to the arrest of the officers was after an autopsy report suggested possible homicide before the victim's body was dumped into the River Nzoia. Meanwhile, officers from Tigoni police station in Kiambu had a hard time dispersing boda riders who had gathered after a vehicle hit a rider, killing him on the spot. The driver is said to have been trying to avoid a head-on collision while overtaking. The boda rider have accused most drivers of often being careless, causing a rise in the number of accidents. They've also accused police of roughing them up instead of listening to their cries and concerns. The body of the deceased was taken to Tigoni mortuary.
Accident imekuwa ni kama kuzoea, ni kama chakula, ni kama kuzoea. Na tukikuja haswa kufuata justice yetu, kama sasa tumeletewa gari zaidi ya 15 za polisi. Tunaanza kupigwa na tear gas. Na kila kitu kiko hapa. Hatukuja tukuwa na dhimu ya kuchoma gari. Tumekuja na dhimu ya kutaka kujua justice yetu itapatikana namna gani. Sasa hii mmoja wetu ametuacha, ameaga. Haya, gari junior mudoso fulani imekuja kulindwa. Unaona? Gari imekuja kulindwa. Sasa hii tujasahau na kifo ya mwingine. Sasa hii kuna wengine wamelaswa kijabe.
All right, let's take a quick break here on NTV at 1. We'll be back with more.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Maji mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa? Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akimpigia simu ashiki. Hi, guy, what?
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
New Blue Band Mayonnaise. Made from natural ingredients with omega-3 and 6 to enjoy long-lasting freshness and natural taste unlike any other mayo. Grow healthy and happy kids with New Blue Band Mayonnaise.
I wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap with activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and New Geisha Moringa.
Thank you for staying with us. You're watching NTV at 1. The Standing Committees on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries in the Senate and the Council of Governors have rejected legislation in the tea and sugar industries. The governors and senators accuse the Ministry of Agriculture of enacting regulations without engaging the relevant stakeholders. Kevin Mutai reports from Mombasa.
A two-day consultative meeting between the senators and governors in charge of the agriculture, livestock and fisheries dockets, a conclusion was arrived at challenging the ministry's legislative and regulatory framework in the sector. They accused the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Peter Munya, among many other issues, of subverting corporate societies as well as instituting laws that have affected the growth of tea and sugar industries.
At the Senate Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, together with the Council of Governors, jointly rejects in toto the gazettement of sugar and tea regulations for lack of compliance with the Constitution. That we have resolved to reject over legislation in the agriculture sector.
The governors argue that despite allocating 10% of the county's annual budget to support the agriculture sector, they feel that the ministry has in turn killed the spirit of devolution by not involving them in regulating the sector.
The Council of Governors and the Senate shall undertake a legal review of all laws in the agriculture sector to ensure conformity with the Constitution. Henceforth, the Senate shall not consider any bills concerning county governments developed without proper and meaningful consultation and involvement of county government.
They claim that cartels have continued to deprive farmers of their sweat under the watchful eye of the government.
This country can create more wealth and more jobs by supporting agriculture. We cannot be importing, foods from other countries. 250 billion shillings spent on importing foods and foods that can be grown inside this country. So that almost amounts to sabotage of the economy.
They now want a review of all the regulations enacted by engaging relevant stakeholders. Kevin Mutai, NTV in Mombasa.
As stakeholders in the education sector continue to raise awareness over the increased cases of violence against children in the last few months, humanitarian organizations have also raised their voice against the vulnerable in society who continue to be abused. In Kayole's Soweto village, a young woman has teamed up with others to give guidance and support to young girls who are targets of predators that visit the numerous liquor and drug dens. For a few hours each day, the young girls gather at a center that gives them not only hope and security, but sanitary towels, sex education, as well as how to keep themselves and their babies clean. The founder of the initiative hopes to reach out to as many young girls and their mothers in order to bring change to the community.
The way she talks, the way she walks.
These children, one thing, they grow up in harsh domestic environment, and they are at risk of being involved in so many things: substance abuse, rape, and most of them fall out of school because of lack of care from their parents. Most of the parents are not even able to take care of them.
Well, in other stories making headlines globally, attackers armed with guns and machetes killed at least 8 children on Saturday in a raid on a school in southwestern Cameroon. A group has claimed a responsibility for the attack on the bilingual school in Kumba, but the area has been caught up in violence between Anglophone separatists and government forces for 3 years. A statement by the local UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, has said that another 12 were wounded and taken to local hospitals, while noting that the latest attack at the Mother Francisca International Bilingual Academy was one of the worst such attacks in the region to date. Cameroonian police added that the children were killed when a group of 9 terrorist assailants stormed the school and opened fire on pupils aged between 9 and 12 years. The African Union has condemned the attack. AU President Moussa Faki took to Twitter to rebuke the attack. Separatists have also increasingly resorted to kidnappings and extortion, along with attacks on troops and police and arson assaults on public buildings and schools. The government has responded with a crackdown, deploying thousands of soldiers. Well, as the world marked World Polio Day, Africa is still struggling to eradicate the disease. 16 countries reported rare forms of the disease this year. The World Health Organization Africa says the emergence of COVID-19 has slowed polio vaccination activities on the continent, putting children at risk. Although Kenya was certified free of wild polio virus in 2005, the government has continued to conduct vaccinations targeting children under the age of 5 years.
It is known as circulating vaccine-derived poliovirus, or CVDPV. Where high-quality vaccination campaigns were conducted, some outbreaks were successfully stopped in early 2020. To reduce the risk of COVID-19 spreading in communities, vaccinating campaigns were paused in March, but the leaders of the concerned countries recognize that we can't wait for the COVID-19 emergency to end in order to finish the fight against polio. In collaboration with partners of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, campaigns resumed in July with safety precautions in place for vaccinators and communities. So far, 35 million children have been vaccinated across 13 African countries. This is really encouraging. It shows what we can achieve when we work together with determination and innovation.
Well, former U.S. President Barack Obama has slammed Trump's administration's COVID-19 response. Obama held that Trump's uncaring attitude has highly contributed to the rising cases of COVID-19. The first African-American president also attacked Trump for failing to denounce white supremacy and for lying in public. This comes even as the country heads to the election. Trump's campaign has been turned upside down by the coronavirus crisis, with the majority of voters saying he has handled it poorly. Trump has, however, defended his administration, saying that the high cases is due to their expanded testing capacity.
This pandemic would have been tough for any president because we haven't seen something like this in 100 years. But the idea that somehow this White House has done anything but completely screw this thing up is nonsense. There's no sense that he's coming up with a new approach, with a new plan. He doesn't even acknowledge that there's a problem. Just this week, he complained that the pandemic was making him go back to work. If he had been working in the first place, we would never have seen the situation get this bad.
The cases are up, but listen to this. They all talk about cases. You don't see death, cases. You know why we have cases? Because we test so much. And in many ways, it's good, and in many ways, it's foolish.
All right, let's now take a look at some sporting action now. And Harambee Stars coach Jacob Ghost Mulee has named a provisional squad for the scheduled two-legged Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Comoros next month. Coach Mulee has recalled experienced Finland-based goalkeeper Arnold Origi in a move aimed at adding a touch of experience to the team. Captain Victor Wanyama, Japan League top scorer Michael Olunga, and Belgium-based Joanna Omolo, who missed out on the friendly match against Zambia, have also been called up. Gor Mahia's rookie forward Benson Omala and Sofapaka captain Eli Esieche have also been included in the squad. Local-based players are expected to kick off non-residential training on Wednesday. The foreign-based players are expected from November the 2nd. The first leg will be played at Kasarani on November 11th and 7 p.m., while the return leg is slated for November 15th. Well, the English Premier League defending champions Liverpool returned to winning ways, coming from behind to beat Sheffield United 2-1 at Anfield. Sheffield took the lead through Sander Berge, who scored from the spot on the 13th minute before Firmino levelled for the Reds in the 41st. Demonstrating freestyle at the ceremony. The $542 million Aquatics Center for Swimming, Diving and Artistic Swimming was completed in February, but its grand opening ceremony scheduled for March was postponed due to the COVID-19. At the ceremony, Japanese swimming star Rikako Aiki joined 3 other athletes in a relay. The main pool at the Aquatics Center features a movable wall, allowing the 50-meter facility to be converted into 2 25-meter pools, with the depth also adjustable. The 2020 games were delayed as COVID-19 spread globally and are now set to open on the 23rd of July next year. With many countries experiencing second or even third waves of infections, there have been doubts about whether the event can be staged at all, but organizers and Olympic officials insist it can be done safely.
Thank you very much.
Well, Belgian rider Tim Wellens outsprinted Frenchman Guillaume Martin to take the 5th stage of the Tour of Spain on Saturday, as defending champions Primož finished 4th to retain the overall lead. Wellens and Martin were part of a long breakaway on the 184.4-kilometer ride from Huesca to Sabinanijo. They virtually outkicked the rest of the chasing pack on the short climb to the finish. Bulletin. My name is Zainab. Ismail. Stay with us and have yourself a lovely afternoon.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Washing is not equal to cleaning. Cleasoft equals real clean.
Cleasoft cleans not just the surface of the clothes, removing stubborn stains easily. Effective antibacterial agent goes deep into the fibers, removing 99.99% of the hidden germ. Congratulations! You are the winner!
When I was in prison, I thought a lot about you.
This is not acceptable!
We know you love milk, and now there is milk that loves you. With Gold Crown lactose-free milk, you can enjoy the richness of natural cow's milk without any of the digestion discomfort. Gold Crown lactose-free, milk that loves you.
To help fight the spread of coronavirus, learn Lifebuoy's hand washing habits. Wash hands with soap or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Together, let's help fight the spread of coronavirus in Kenya.
The new Maisha Aluzinc Mabati from Maisha Mabati Limited. For the first time in Kenya, a roofing product that combines aesthetics with proven resilience. Its unique combination of aluminium and zinc gives it a 5 times longer lifespan than normal Mabati, thanks to the excellent state-of-the-art mill. It has 20 years lifespan, it's easy to install, it's flexible and durable. It stands up to severe weather conditions, has good abrasion and rust resistance, it's affordable and is approved by the Kenya Bureau of Standards and is available countrywide. It can be used for all applications. Always insist, on Maisha Aluzinc Mabati, a product of Maisha Mabati Rolling Mills, Ruiru.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated GE. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
It's a pleasure being with you again on this show that brings the world right into your living room. Or is it at your fingertips? Well, our main guest today is Anne Murungi, a journalist by training. But fate saw her shift careers and become the sales and marketing director of Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast, Accra. And we have much more on the menu. And this is what we've lined up for you.
This is home, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Anne Murungi, the journalist who changed careers to become the sales and marketing director of Kempinski Hotel, Accra. In Kigali, how Kenyan civil engineer Nancy Njagi has positioned herself in Rwanda's fast-growing construction industry. On Kenya to the